This is some on how fractional banking works to allow for a revaluation of the IQD. Um, how fractional banking economics will allow a high RV explained. First off, I'll use exchange of a $10,000 IQD note as my example. To help explain the economics of this cash in example, I use a 1-to-1 cash in ratio between the USD and IQD. That is given a two-tier payout and a 2% bank spread. What you will receive if you were to cash in your 10,000 IQD note with a bank that charges you a 2% spread, you would personally receive a net take home of 9,800 credited to your bank account. What your bank will receive, your bank will receive $10,000 credit to its Federal Reserve account. They will also be able to add the $200 profit to their capital account. If you don't understand the fractional banking concept that runs our country, you may want to, as that's what this is based on. It's what's behind this entire concept and plan. Ultimately, the bank wins because they're able to gain $2,000 in lending power under the 10% fractional banking model. What the U.S. Treasury will receive. First off, the U.S. Treasury will receive $3,500 in estimated taxes in the quarter after the exchange because you are now in the quote rich category and get to enjoy the 35% tax bracket. This lowers the net cost of the IQD exchange to the U.S. financial system to $6,500 USD. For example, $10,000 out to $3,500 in. Furthermore, the U.S. Treasury's rate is higher than the banking rate. We'll use in this example $1.25, therefore reducing their net cost from $6,500 to $4,000. Now, oil now enters the picture. At some point, a Fed appointed agent orders $12,500 worth of oil from Iraq. Payment will consist of a $12,500 transfer from the Fed's foreign currency reserve IQD account to the Iraq oil payment account at the CBI in a form otherwise known as petrodollars or petro-dinar. Even though the world spot price of oil is defined in terms of USD, the actual transaction may take place in any internationally recognized currency agreed to by the parties. For example, Iran only accepts yen from Japan for their oil orders because they don't want USD in their foreign currency reserves. Okay, how the CBI recaptures the money. The $12,500 order is filled with 250 barrels of oil based on the spot price on the date of the sale. For example, we used a $50 USD spot price. What does it cost Iraq to produce the oil to fill this order? Well, they have negotiated productions agreements for approximately $1.50 USD per barrel. From that price, 50 cents USD goes to the National Iraqi Oil Company, who is the partner in the field the oil came from. Out of the remaining $1, the other oil field partners have to pay Iraq government a profit tax of 35 cents or 35%, the net cost to Iraq to produce a barrel of oil used in this scenario, which is 65 cents USD, for example, $1.50 to 50 cents to 35 cents. What does all that mean? It costs Iraq $162.50 to bring back a 10,000 IQD note. Can they afford that? I think so. So instead of paying out $12,500 for a 10,000 IQD note, they only pay $162.50. That doesn't add to the money supply much at all, does it? They receive their IQD back and place it in the CBI or destroy it. The transaction is completed with the Federal Reserve exchanging foreign reserve credits, which are equal to $12,500 USD, which has a net acquisition cost of $4,000 USD for the U.S., for 250 barrels of oil, which has a total cost to produce $162.50 USD for Iraq. More completely explained and simply put, it costs Iraq $162.50 USD from their foreign currency reserve accounts to redeem the value of the 10,000 IQD, which goes into their operating accounts. At the same time, the U.S. got $12,500 worth of oil for a net cost of $4,000. That's how it was originally planned for Iraq to RV at 1 IQD equal to 1 USD, with the variable being the political element, for example, UN sanctions, GOI actions, IMF actions, World Bank actions. Okay, here are some other factors that strengthen Iraq's position and ability to RV. DFI funds returned and other assets, $280 billion plus USD plus other frozen assets, estimated at 100 billion, would be returned back to Iraq and added to their foreign currency reserve, bringing it up to 430 plus billion USD. The CBI IQD reserve requirement adjustment. The CBI will change the current fractional IQD reserve requirements from 100% to 15% at the appropriate time. As a result, the total potential money supply will be raised in value to 2.8 trillion, 430 billion 15, while at the same time the total physical IQD in circulation will be reduced by removing the large bills with the 3 zeros over a period of 2 years as they have indicated. Oil production increased. Iraq will also execute the plan they announced to increase oil production from 2+ million barrels a day to 10 million barrels a day, with resulting revenues flowing directly to the Iraq Treasury. Oil futures and Forex contracts added. To further stir the pot, the CBI will continue to use its sales window to market oil future and Forex contracts. They have shown they can generate significant cash flow in the private market. Think of their impact in public markets. Therefore, my friends, is how this plan will be enacted and made possible, taking nothing and turning it into something, then bringing it back to a, quote, manageable and reasonable something, unquote, that is accepted and supported by seeming endless supplies of oil. This is how the world's entire new monetary system will be regenerated and supported and backed, given in essence a rebirth and renewed for most governments and economic regions, even by black gold. So here's the summary for all the players involved, giving ballpark numbers and not taking into account superfluous costs, fees, and other small details that don't really affect the larger picture. Investors' net gain, $10,000 minus $200 equals $9,800 times 65 cents equals $6,370 for an investment that costs $10. Bank's net gain, $200 added to capital account plus $2,000 they can use to loan out. U.S. Treasury net gain, $2,500 from the 25-cent spread on top plus $3,500 in quarterly taxes equals $6,000. CBI GOI Iraqi people net gain, $12,500 minus $162.50 equals $12,337.50 plus profits from other factors. Overall net gain for all involved, $6,370 plus $200 plus $6,000 plus $12,337.20 equals $24,907.20. This is the wealth that was generated from a single 10,000 IQD note that was given an original value of approximately $10. Is that amazing or what? You tell me. Can Iraq afford not to RV? Will the IMF allow them not to RV their currency but simply replace their denoms for smaller ones? In this scenario, everyone wins. The IQD is slowly, over 2 years, taken back in to the CBI, eventually destroyed, leaving a manageable M2 behind, created a huge wealth from throughout the world to supply what was allowed to be destroyed in the Great Bleed. Even the greatest redistribution of wealth the world has ever seen, believe it or not, it has happened for this very purpose, and it is coming.